Hey, you guys, welcome back. We're still on the floor, and we have some amazing people. Definitely up my alley in the science world. I'm Elizabeth Damron, and this is Cannabis Multimedia Network. And I am going to let my friend introduce himself. We're going to talk some STEM and some science and all things nerdy.
Sounds great. Hi, guys. I'm Chris Denaro, co-founder and director of customer success for STEM cultivation. And we were just talking about science, nerding out earlier.
We sure were.
And that's really why we started STEM cultivation, because there's really a lot of tribal knowledge, right?
Yes.
And anecdotal evidence
Yes.
that's driving business decisions in cultivation right now. And it's affecting the cost of medicine to patients.
Yes.
So STEM cultivation was started to use science, technology, engineering, and math to grow cannabis.
Awesome. Now, okay, in talking about data and stuff like that, qualitative data is super duper prevalent. Okay, yep. I'm a research psychologist. I'm totally on board with qualitative data, but will you go into a little bit as to how you're translating that into hard metrics and into hard analytics, so that way we've got big companies, you know, that can, and companies from all ends. You know, you've got Green Bros in their manufacturing. You know, you've got different clinics. You know, you've got using these metrics to say, okay, hey, like you're saying, smart business decisions, we're moving forward in the industry, we're furthering science, we're furthering advocacy. Fill in the blank here. How do you know, how are you guys doing all this?
So a lot to go off of there, but I'll try to address.
Oh my gosh, I know, it's like a whole lot of questions in one. I'm sorry.
So just back it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So the STEM box, really, so the STEM box is our modular scalable system, right?
Okay.
So we build, think of the STEM box as like our widget, right? That's our unit of one, right? And within the STEM box, we're doing some really interesting things. So we brought in a lot of amazing technologies for HVAC and for sterilization and for lighting. Yeah. We're working with Fluence. And we're using vertical growing, doing recirculating hydroponics.
Okay.
The vertical growing allows us to fit a larger square footage of canopy in a smaller area of space.
Okay.
Right? And if you think of a typical cultivation facility, you've got plants all across the floor
and really high
pressure sodiums all across the ceiling, really high ceilings,
little double-ended here and there.
Yep. And you're so what that amounts to is that you're using very small amount of that space for generating revenue.
It's not efficient as it could be.
And a very large amount of space, you have to condition all of that space, so that's eating up costs for you, right?
Yep.
So by fitting a larger square footage of canopy in a smaller volume of space, well, now we can keep really tight control over that and get a much greater yield per volume, right?
Wow.
And then each STEM box then is basically just a data collection tool for us, right? It's a scientific research box.
I love it.
Because we can get it so dialed in that we can keep all of the variables exactly the same and change one variable in each STEM box,
So let's talk about variables and stuff like that real quick then.
Sure.
In what you're, talking about. Are you being able to control, is it like a micro environment, and you can change, not only capture those metrics and capture that data, but then we can alter each section? Like, are we that kind of nuanced?
So the STEM box itself is a section. There's not, section within.
Very
right?
cool.
So within the STEM box, yes, each STEM box is its own microclimate.
That's amazing.
Right? So, I mean, you could imagine.
What kind of response are you getting from those, by the way? Oh, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I have so many questions.
No. It's okay. We're getting great responses. Interestingly enough, I think the more mature markets have been a lot more interested in this. What we found is in markets like Massachusetts or new markets coming online, people are making so much money that they don't really care to find the efficiencies. And that's another interesting thing too, right? Like some people are building out business plans, like planning to make $3,000 a pound for the next 5 years, and that's just not going to happen.
We just talked to Scott Giannotti about investments, and that's probably not a smart business move.
Right.
Let the nerds tell you that it's not. You
Right.
know, right?
But for those people, they just don't care right now. But the more mature markets where it's down to $1,500 a pound.
You're talking in
$1,000
Washington
a pound.
State and in Portland and in Portland, Oregon, of
in
course.
Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada and California.
California.
Yeah, all
Yep.
over the West Coast where they're like, yeah, this is old hat for us.
Right.
Yeah, this is old key for us. So we're good.
Yeah. So those are the markets
okay.
that are more interested in this right now.
Okay.
But
okay.
all of this, we're still an early stage startup. So we're deploying our first STEM box to a facility in Reno, Nevada, coming up in
Awesome.
a month from now.
Awesome.
And I think
I'm excited to follow that and see how we go.
cool.
For
Yeah,
sure.
you can follow us on Instagram, STEM Cultivation.
You guys heard it. STEM Cultivation, Instagram, do it for the gram.
Yep.
Right?
And once we have results from that first STEM box, we're expecting, so it's a 30 by 10 STEM box that includes the mechanical room and clean room.
Very cool.
Right, so you walk into the mechanical room,
Yep.
that air is being scrubbed too, so
Okay.
operator would change into their booties and scrubs.
Excellent.
And then walk into the grow space, which is 270 square feet.
Wow.
And we expect, based on the test grows, we expect to be able to produce between 40 and 60 pounds
cool.
per harvest.
Very cool. Very neat.
Yeah.
Now, that's excellent. You're talking about clean rooms and stuff like that when you're talking medically and in keeping the conditions as tight and keeping that data as empirical as possible. It seems like a no-brainer, and that's really great that you guys have integrated that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in doing all that. So tell me, what's your favorite thing? In doing STEM and in doing all that, what is your favorite aspect about what you do?
I think the thing that I'm most excited for is being able to collect that data and be able to say definitively that this is the best way to grow or this produces this results. Because there's just so much anecdotal stuff that's being thrown around as fact, right? Like you have to defoliate the plant completely. Like this is the way to do it. Or this method of growing is the best, or this. And I'm very excited
soil,
to be able to,
hydro, or whatever. Yeah.
But I'm excited to be able to have the data to say definitively this works better than this. Whether it's a technology or a nutrient or a method of growing and cultivating. Yeah. That's what I'm most excited for.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Tell me your story. Let's get real.
My story.
Let me put you on my psychology couch for a second. So tell me your cannabis why. What is it that brought you into, yes, we cannabis,
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah, so...
Especially in science, I'm just saying.
Yeah, cool. Great question. So I think I've just seen a lot of family, just first, second-hand accounts. I've been able to help a lot of people, too, when originally me and my co-founder were applying for a medical license in Massachusetts. So processing was a piece of it. I love to cook, so I was experimenting with different edible recipes and giving them away to people.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome.
And I worked with a lot of cancer patients, and I saw the difference that it made for them. I have a cousin who was a star hockey player in high school, and he had a bunch of shoulder surgeries and ended up getting addicted to opiates.
Yep.
So I've just seen how big of a difference it can make for people in pain management and in
it's life-changing, isn't it?
It's life-changing. Yeah. And I want to be able to, I think cultivation really addresses it at the base, right? Like how do we affect the cost of medicine to their patients? And that's where it starts.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, you hit home. So I'll tell you real quick. So when I retired from the Marine Corps, I know that opiate medication leash all too well.
Yeah.
And it's hard and it's sad, and I don't want anyone to have to go through that. Yeah. I'm sorry for your family and your friends because I truly empathize.
Yeah.
And that's what drove me. I mean, and that's a huge part of my why, Yeah. And I'm glad that there are like minds, that there are similar hearts, that we can, synergize with each other, and this is why we do it.
Yeah.
And especially in bringing, the stoner counterculture, this negative stigma that's been out there for so long, and pair it with academia and pair it with science. So
yeah.
Thank you so much for sitting with me today. I can't wait to talk to you more. My hands are,
absolutely,
always clamoring from hold this thing. But Elizabeth Damron, you guys, I'm so very honored for Chris Denaro. You guys have to look him up real quick. Go ahead and spit your website so they know, so they can follow you. You know, hashtag
Yeah, you can
IG.
find us at stemcultivation.com and stemcultivation on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. We're going to be here. We'll probably talk more. We got some really, really, really interesting stuff coming up. Anybody pay attention to Murder Mountain? Humboldt County? Anybody familiar? Anyway, stay tuned. It's going to be a treat. You're really going to love it. And we'll see you from the floor of NECANN 19. Thanks, guys.